my hand cards for wool, of course. But
Okay, yeah. So this is the cotton that would have been grown here in Missouri is called short staple cotton,
yeah.
right? As opposed to long staple. The long staple cotton, Egyptian cotton, more tropical, subtropical cotton, longer fiber. The seeds a little bit glossier. The seeds separate nicely from it, and they would have used something more like this called a Jakarta rolling gin instead, where you would feed the fiber through, the seeds would spit out, right, and you'd have the fiber on the other side.
I spun them from the seed, and it's not.
And so then this is called short staple cotton. It has a shorter life cycle in terms of growth cycle,
good plan,
because you had to have that this far north, right? And so it has to have 150 to 160 days from when you plant the seed to when you harvest it to grow. And that was conducive to this part of the U.S., right? Plant it by April 15th. The soil has to be about 55 degrees in order for the seed to start to take action. And then by 15th of September, maybe the first week in October, it's ready to pick and harvest before the winter rains and everything would kick in. And so their problem was the guy was the first nurse with short staple cotton. Go ahead and feel the seeds, and then go ahead and try to pick out a seed. Right?
Oh, I know. I spin them like
You
this.
can see what the...
I grew up in cotton country.
Okay, so you can see what the challenge was that they were trying to solve for. So any of the Southerners who were, on their own trying to raise cotton for their own household purposes, therein lay their challenge. So Eli Whitney came up with this design. It originally didn't have wheels like this, saw blades. It had wheels that had wires embedded in them, and the wires would grab the fiber and pull the fiber through these slots, these ribs, but the seeds weren't small enough to fit through, so the seeds would stay on one side, the fiber would get pulled through on the other side, and that was his concept. Gary built this based upon the blueprint through the Library of Congress, the Patent Trade Office that he actually created, that Eli Whitney actually created. Eli Whitney subsequently, he had a competitor who started to play with use of the saw blades. Eli Whitney went back and changed his patent to include saw blades instead. They weren't really smaller teeth like we see here. They were more of a hook like this that would grab the fiber versus cut the fiber and pull it through.
Right.
But we use the blades that we can get.
That's wonderful.
But
you did this.
But this is the idea, is that it's pulling the fiber through, but leaving the seeds on this side.
Wow.
And as this is going around,
Oh, you see?
Oh, cool.
these brushes are actually sweeping the fiber off, and at the same time it's creating a bit of a vacuum or a airflow that's pushing the fiber out, and then down here is the fiber minus the seeds.
Isn't that wonderful?
Wow.
And then you talked about knowing kind of wool carders, right?
Yeah, they have a longer.
Yeah, they have a longer teeth. Here we'll go ahead and use the carding paddles for the cotton in order to straighten it out and get it ready to be able to...
It's so good that you do that.
And they're all rock.
People need to know these things.
I'll bet.
There's some stories.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and then here's our fiber ready to be spun, right? And they could have done it by hand. They could have used a drop spindle like this,
Wonderful.
right? Which would have provided the weight and the turning as you were up here, kind of helping it to thread itself out.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's how you would come up with your homemade skein
Oh my goodness.
of yarn.
Cool.
We did